connect this back to the discussion of of Gaia and the role of humans or the role of life on Earth and the sort of the arc of the planet. The reason that I think that this might be valuable is because I think that there is a tendency to treat humans as a blight.
Especially in
And
environmentalism.
especially in environmentalism. And I think that that's not, I think someone needs to think of the children. I don't know that I don't know that it's good for kids to live in a world where they are raised to believe that humans are a blight upon the planet rather
Yeah.
than being a species that is capable of really taking care of the place.
Yeah, I listen to my daughter who's 6, and she does not believe that we're a blight on the planet,
Oh, that's
but she's
good.
concerned about our environment, and rightly so. I don't really think that anybody's teaching the children that. I mean, most of what I can see that happens in the classroom is all. Very, very wholesome stuff where they just like, oh no, we have an environment, we should take care of it.
I think that this comes
I,
mostly from encountering people who are maybe like 5 to 10 years younger than me. So I'm thinking mostly like people in their teens and 20s.
yeah,
And they're generally very, very concerned in almost this kind of fever pitch way.
You hear people a lot of times, I don't want to say like the majority, but like you hear people often say, well, I'm not going to have children, especially in their 20s. Like I would never have children because, the world is a terrible place. The humans are destroying the planet.
The humans are a cancer, like
Yeah,
civilization is a cancer. And like I
yeah,
and I wonder how to balance the two desires, right? To take care of the planet and to create an environment where humans are capable of thriving without the sort of this kind of fear-based mentality. Like have you noticed that there is
well, okay, so I mean, are there fringe voices that would say such things? Surely, and I think that's been the case throughout human history, that there are misanthropes who would rather we all disappear. But I don't actually see it as a big part of today's environmentalist movement. I certainly don't
hmm,
see it as a big part of today's work in the science of the environment. Most of my colleagues are in fact human, and I think they would like to thrive, and that's what we work towards. We're working towards safeguarding the environment that we have, not the planet, the environment in which we are thriving. And so that is really the goal. The discussion about reducing emissions and climate resilience, all of those things are in order to protect the investment that we have in the status quo, right? So it's not, are there crazy voices on that would be extremely misanthropic? Yes. Are there crazy voices on the other side that would just have us burn it all just for so that we could maintain dominion over all things? Yes. There's those people too. But I think you'd find that most of the mainstream scientific community and most of the mainstream politicians and policies are very much in the camp of no, this is where we live, and we need to make sure that it doesn't degenerate and change the conditions under which we would continue to thrive.
That's a relief. I we've been hanging out on the dark corners of the internet apparently.
I was actually thinking there's a ProPublica article, I don't know, maybe 6 months or a year ago, and it was profiling this guy who was like a key member of Extinction Rebellion,
Mm-hmm.
which is this environmentalist group that's basically, the I think the base principle is that an extinction of life on Earth is occurring, and humans will be sort of victims
Yes,
of that.
they're protesting against that.
They're
They don't
protesting
want that to
against,
happen.
of course,
They're
but they,
rebelling against that consequence, right? So it's not that they're pro-extinction.
of course, but they look at it as being a natural consequence of the way that things are right now. which creates this very sort of frantic and hopeless condition. And I wonder if you think that on the track that we are now, given the level of discourse on the subject of, protecting the planet and changing the way that we organize civilization and really attempting to fix these things, do you think that we are on track to continue the extinction that has begun, or do you think that there is sort of the winds of change have started to move in the right direction?
Well, I mean, I think you can see signs of progress if you look, and I think you can also see signs that things are getting worse. And so it's hard to tell where we're going to end up. I mean, but I think that the fact that that young people, whether they're involved with Extinction Rebellion or whether they're doing Fridays for the Future school strikes with Greta Thunberg, I think the realization and the awareness of that next generation of the consequences of what we're doing is very, very high, and they don't want it to continue. And so that seems to me to be a hopeful sign, not a depressing one.